This episode of Weeb Soup brought to you in part by Tyler's Murder. Sup, Soup? This is Nick.
Crispy.
And Tyler.
And collectively, we are Weeb Soup. And today's episode's super dope. We're going back to the elements for a bit. We're going to cover ice users. There's several of them out there, and I'm really going to spend a lot of my time focusing on just one in particular, because it's going to fill up quite a bit of the slot, because I'm going to go through some shit. But ice users in anime have always been really intense. They're like, just like water users, but they also freeze it. Like what ice is.
Just
Frozen water. H2O,
H2O.
baby. So, I'll just go ahead and start my deep dive here. Basically, as I pick up the Wikipedia, basically, my favorite ice user in all of anime is Toshiro Hitsugaya. It's not even really any competition in my mind. Like, there's other ones from other animes that I like a whole lot that have really cool really cool abilities. Like a couple of them that I like personally are like Haku and
Gosh dang it.
and Rukia, but otherwise,
It's giving you guys Rukia, but
To-
I want Haku.
to run through it and actually deep dive on Toshiro just a little bit. The dude was the youngest captain in all of the 13 court guard squads.
Still is.
Yeah.
And he was also the youngest captain to, I think, ever have existed.
Yeah, still is. He's
Yeah.
the youngest captain or the youngest person to have graduated the academy and been promoted to captain.
Yeah, but I mean, there's really good reasons for that. I mean, the dude was literally the best strategist and tactician out of them, basically, except for when he got pissed off about stupid things.
Reasonably.
Because
soft.
he's just a feely boy, and I get it, but anyways, sometimes like getting his arm sliced off was kind of good job, kid. But he was also a Shunpo and Kido expert, so like the dude knew how to use unarmed combat as well as their cool magic abilities. He wasn't just limited to his ice powers that he got from his Zanpakuto.
He has some cool ice powers, though.
Yeah, and I mean, he was also just incredibly strong on his own. Like, he was able to knock out Hinamori in a single blow.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
he was just literally that strong. It's crazy that he carries the frame of a 13-year-old boy, but he's like stronger than most of the other Soul Reapers.
Held his own against the third strongest Arankar.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Out of
Hollywood.
everybody.
For a while, yeah.
And I think, ended up winning.
Yeah, that was a good fight. I did deeply enjoy that one.
He had her trapped, right? And then his Aizen technically kills her.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he had her trapped.
So,
and
Yeah,
then,
Aizen's like
nope, you die.
team killer because that's what he does.
Yeah.
But anyways, to get to the point of the abilities that I like about it, his abilities, or his ice abilities that stem from his Zanpakuto, Hyorin Maru, are honestly some of the most ridiculous abilities that I've ever seen, as far as like just a sword user or anything like that in general too. One reason why he's always been one of my favorites, I mean, his Zanpakuto's name is literally Ice Rings.
Mhm.
So, but basically, releasing it with Soar Upon the Frozen Heavens puts it in a Shikai state, and then that lets him do anything as basic as just your typical ice techniques, and then he can also, once his Shikai is activated, control the local weather.
Yeah.
Dude
I
is
love
a
how-
mobile heart machine, and nobody even gives him that much credit for it. I just want more Toshiro making ice
And
hurricanes.
we will be getting more.
Oh, I know.
What I love about it is the bottom of his hilt, when it is in his Shikai, has
Mhm.
that long chain plate
With
thing.
the crescent
Yeah.
moon,
Yeah, that
is cool.
still activates his ice powers.
and he uses that as kind of like a bulla,
Mhm.
and wraps enemies with it too, because the chain actually gets longer,
Mm-hmm.
which is also impressive, and you don't see that with any of the others except for maybe oh, I can't think of his name. Dark-haired, edgy Ichigo
Oh,
with the 69 on his face. I
Oh,
I
yeah,
always gap on this guy's name. I'm awful. He's also really cool, but his Bankai is his Zanpakuto is literally the chain, not the blades.
yeah.
So when he unlocks his Bankai, it gets crazy. But and then the basic power Tenzo Jurin was the one where he can control the weather in his immediate vicinity.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love this name, and I wouldn't be able to say this just off of my memories. That's why I had this pulled up. But Shinku Taso Hyoheki is his multi-layer vacuum ice wall, and
That's right.
it's incredible because it when it's used with Rangiku's Zanpakuto in conjunction when they're working together,
Yeah.
it's crazy. You don't see that out of literally any other ice users using a more of defensive techniques. So like he's a multi-role, he can do all of it.
Right.
And then Ryojin Hyoheki, whenever he makes that massive protective barrier by weaving threads of ice together,
Mm-hmm.
that one was always really intense. I remember all of his fights, and whenever he's like on the fence, he can just pretty much pull up Gara level defensive techniques just
Mm-hmm.
because it's awesome.
I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of like it is like Gara's technique just with water.
Mhm.
He can control the moisture and the ice in the air
Yep.
Right.
in general.
Just kind of manifest ice out of the freaking air, which is an incredible ability on its own. Like,
yeah, no kidding. I love it. And then now we break into his Bankai, Daiguren Hyorinmaru. And now things go nutty, Professor. Like, he becomes the Ice Dragon.
Yeah. I love how like on his sword arm, you see the dragon. It's just the head is his hand.
Mhm.
And I absolutely love that little detail that they added into it.
Yep, starting at his right arm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But that basically just amplifies all of his techniques and abilities, and basically makes him the tippy top of most of the captains in the Gotei 13.
I'm super glad you said the ice dragon thing, because the entire time I'm like, I'm pretty sure he goes dragon, but like I didn't want to say it and
Yeah,
be
he
wrong.
gets,
But I'm like, he doesn't go full dragon, but like he gets like the armor
No,
that like
He
does he
goes
go?
full dragon.
Pretty much, yeah.
There's
he gets
the-
the wings.
The what movie was that he actually, the Diamond Dust Rebellion.
Yeah.
That movie, he actually literally becomes a dragon and fights. Well, he doesn't. The other guy, the antagonist becomes the dragon because two people got Hyorinmaru
Mhm.
in that movie.
Yeah, and that's going through all that. That's one of my favorites.
That's cool.
Yeah, well animated, well produced.
I haven't watched the Bleach movies yet, so that makes sense.
but
I was like, he only
solid
goes like the
watch.
armor with like the wings and like the claws and whatnot. But
Mhm.
like
And then the
it is
three
full. Like he's got like his little
petals.
ice gems, I guess.
Yeah.
And like they kind of explode. As,
Yeah, that's
like,
his timer basically,
Yeah.
because it's still an underdeveloped Bankai at that point.
Right.
He eventually gets over that.
Mm-hmm. And then gets a whole ass new form too.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. I cannot wait for that to be animated because it's gonna look.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited for the Blood War arc to finally take off. I've read the manga and I've been caught up for forever now. So just the fact that I get to see some of the most intense shit in all of Bleach about to be delivered to my eye holes.
And they're not censoring, so we've heard.
That would
Yeah.
be cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, if there's
won't
an
censor it.
impact frame where your arm gets ripped off, it is brutally ripped off and there's blood.
Nice.
Love it. But
Uh,
I focused on him because he had so much to cover. I mean, there's still more that I could say as far as that goes, but this isn't like a versus match or anything, so I don't need to
No.
stack up any more stats.
It's just
so.
your favorite characters.
Yeah.
You want to go or you want me to
Go for
go? I just had Haku. Of course, I wanted to talk about Toshiro.
Mhm.
And then I'm assuming that you're probably going to cover one of the other ones, but I wanted to talk about Yukina and Haku. Yukina is from Yu Yu Hakusho. She doesn't really fight with ice powers, but my boy Kuwabara fell in love with her, so she is worth mentioning if my boy Kuwabara fell in love with her.
Yukina!
Love him so much. Love her. Love
Check
their
out my
relationship.
spirit sword!
I love it all. But I had to bring her up just so I could talk about Kuwabara.
That's the plug here.
That was
That's the
it.
segue.
Yeah, go watch Yu Yu Hakusho. Check out Kuwabara. He's the best. Haku from Naruto. I mean, the way where his character was placed in the show, just setting up the very beginning of the storylines of like this is their first mission, like this is the power scaling, like everything, and then Haku and Zabuza's background and story, incredible, and then Haku on top of that having just an incredible power set of like ice mirrors, a Kekkei Genkai where he can just like transfer in between mirrors and just
At that point, that was the first Kekkei Genkai they had introduced too. That's how they did all the
Right.
exposition and explained what a Kekkei Genkai was.
right. So like just the way that his arc sets the tone for like the rest of the series was absolutely incredible for him as an incredible character, and then him as an incredible ice user on top of that. So that's why I wanted to talk about Haku.
I think Haku was probably the first time that I looked at an anime character and was just okay with not knowing the gender involved. And also that like 12-year-old me was like, I'm into it. Oh god, I'm bi.
I love how he
The
could
first
also,
trap.
Right?
I love how you
Right.
can also use the water as needles and just spread them between his mirrors and just annihilate anybody
From
trapped in them.
anywhere.
From anywhere.
Yeah.
And by
Doesn't even have to be
feats-
the one he's in. He can be in like almost all of them
Yeah.
at once.
And by feats, he can travel, I think, like almost light speed in between those mirrors.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure those are light speed feats, if I remember right. But I'm not gonna. I don't want to be quoted on that one without actually looking at it again.
I'm 90% sure you're
I'm
right.
pretty sure,
because,
but-
like, I don't think time really affects him because he's there, and it's almost teleportation more than like speed travel, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty
But-
close, yeah.
But Crispy, what do you got?
Oh, I got a list. I got a few. I'm gonna
Cool.
start off with same universe, Rukia. Go a little bit more into her. The snow and ice Zanpakuto, also categorized as the most beautiful Zanpakuto of the Gote 13. I absolutely loved her progress as a character and using her sword and eventually going into her own Bankai. She does get a Bankai and it is awesome.
Well, you did decide to buy the sword, so
I
would
didn't buy the sword. It
assume
was a gift from
Oh.
someone else.
someone
so-
bought
Still
you the
cool.
sword, so I assume you like it.
Yes, true. But outside of Toshiro, who is still my favorite as well, Rukia was kind of the only other ice user that I could think of from that universe. But I want to throw Mizune from Rosario plus
Ooh.
Vampire.
I haven't seen that
Ooh,
one.
Man,
You should.
Ooh, I need to rewatch that one.
You
That was
should.
like a passive
Mm-hmm.
first watch, and I don't think that I really absorbed all that I could have from
I
it.
really loved her character. Just in general. I mean, her ice powers were pretty cool. Nothing too fancy. I didn't really have too many as well, but I also want to throw in there Sinbad from Magi.
Ooh. Magi's great.
Magi is great. The first
Still gotta watch Magi. You
it's all on
mentioned it
Netflix
last time. Yeah.
mostly. This particular one in the main show you don't actually see his ice gen equip, I think it's called.
Mhm.
But in his own little sub series, the ice one is the first one he gets. He gets a sword and everything, and it's super cool.
Are you not gonna bring up Gray?
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, all right.
You're our
fine.
fairy tale expert. Come
all
on.
right, all right, fair. I am the resident fairy tale expert. Yeah, Gray he's on the list as well. I love his powers. I love when he fought his father, ended up getting the demon slaying ice
Oh, yeah.
powers. Yeah. He gets his ice changes color, and then he's able to eat ice and absorb it all. And he is basically categorized as a demon slayer, whereas not dragon slayer.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
he's got this neat little tattoo on his right forearm that is the trigger. It goes up about like half of his.
It's like a curse mark.
It's like a curse mark the way
Oh.
they portray it.
That's cool.
And then his powers are just amped.
Yeah.
He was able to stop one of the invading continent's ice users just like that.
Mhm.
Dang.
Like threw out his strongest attack, and then he went into Demon Slayer mode and just ate his ice. Basically pulled a Natsu, but ate ice. And it was
I love Gray.
great. I loved his fight with Silver / hated it because he was fighting his father.
Yeah.
At this point, if you guys haven't watched Fairy Tail already, massive spoilers, but
Fairy Tail's
Yeah.
old. Go watch it.
It's still relevant. They're doing the 100-year quest. That's still part of it.
Fairy Tail's old. Go
So is
watch
Dragon
it.
Ball.
I'll tell you, you sold me.
Dragon
on
Ball's
it.
not even being produced right now.
You definitely sold me on it. I want to get
It's-
into Fairy
it's
Tail really bad,
super
but I gotta
good.
catch up on Boruto first. Is the only problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you know what? I want to throw this honorable mention in. Tara from Avatar: The Last
I have
Airbender.
Katara as well, and
Mm.
Todoroki. We brought him
Oh,
up for
yeah.
fire. It's only appropriate that we bring him up for ice.
Yeah, true. But that's all I got.
Okay, all right. Well, that sounds like we've done a pretty good full circle here, so we'll go ahead and call it. But
All right.
hit our comments section. What was your favorite ice user? There's plenty out there, and I'm sure that there's some that you wanted to have mentioned, and we didn't quite get there. So leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, do the things,
That's how the algorithm works.
and we Weeb Soup will
Love
see
you.
you in the future. That's a strange noise I just made.
Please don't ever make that noise again. I know it wasn't intentional, but I took that as a threat.